Hello folks, welcome to another daily Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Today we will talk a little bit more about what's happening with Binance. The whole community is extremely split. And those who are saying, no, she said it's a good person, Binance is good. And everything is foot and just fake news. And the others are saying, hey, I always have said Binance is scammy. She said isn't what you thought he is, and so on and so forth. Some others are a little bit more neutral and just following the news. Well, you know my opinion. But in my opinion, now everything is looking more sharp and, at least for me, clear. Not that clear because what they built looks extremely big and remembers a little bit what Sam and FTX did. But in case, maybe that's the crypto standard. Maybe that's what they do. Maybe that's the same way what, I don't know, Bitfinex is doing. And, well, Kraken, I wouldn't say Kraken could do that, but nobody knows. Anyway, Emily Flitter, also on Twitter, you can find her. At least she has a profile there at Flitter on Fraud. That's her name there, and she's working, or as a journalist, she's also providing some stories to New York Times. We don't need to talk about if New York Times is good. But however, she published and just an article with a headline: Binance moved billions through 2 US banks, regulators say. It seems that she said was just noticed that and he unfollowed her. Well, that's infantile. That's stupid things. I'm not going to talk about that now. So it seems that based on the information that New York Times is just providing and what regulators are using now in their complaint against Binance US, and it seems also Binance.com, but mainly Binance US because it's a centralized exchange listed in the US territory, is that both banks, what a surprise. That's really surprising me. No, of course it's not, but we are talking about Signature and Silverbank. You remember what happened with both banks, right? So it seems that CSAT or Binance, so everything looks like that Binance.com, and now that's something that's really scaring me. That's the problem. What I'm going to say, that's really horrible. Not only from regulation and compliance view, but also from geopolitical one. And that's something that goes over anything related to regulation. That's, well, the US loves always to say a national security problem, issue, threat, whatever. Because you know the relations right now between China and US, right? So anyway, Binance moved billions, it seems, based on this data, via 2 banks who collapsed. One collapsed because of FTX, the other collapsed because nobody knows. Nobody knows until today, even later on, of Signature Bank. As we know, I think it was Signature Bank, where the management said, we had money, so we don't know why we collapsed. So it seems that was political driven. And now everything is looking much clearer to me. Because it seems that Binance used their Shanghai located financial team. I didn't even know that these guys have a financial team. Binance in Shanghai. That's China. That's China. So crypto is banned there, but they have a financial team that is moving liquidity from the US abroad to companies where CZ is the CEO and is owned by CZ to make market maker stuff and more. So it goes beyond. At the moment, it's not really clear what they did, if it's money laundering or whatever it is. I mean, no one's know exactly who founded Binance, where the money came from. But that's another story. That's really another story, and I don't know it. And I guess it's almost impossible to find out who did it. But that's the big problem right now, what I see. It's not even the regulation stuff that looks extremely crazy. Just to take even customer funds, because that's what they are saying. I don't know if that's true or not. The only way to know if that's true or not is to make a certified audit on Binance.us and Binance.com, something that CZ is not going to allow. Absolutely not. Attestations, of course, that's why they did, like Tether. Yeah, attestation. How many attestations do you want? Every 5 hours? No problem. Because an attestation only means you are providing the auditors or their controllers, the financial team, your data, and they are just analyzing, making attestation based on the data you have provided. They don't have access to the raw material or raw data. That happens usually when you are getting, for example, in the banking sector, we say just a 44 investigation. A 44 investigation, in German 44er Prüfung, is the biggest pain in the ass for every bank. Because a team of controllers are coming from the central bank. In Germany, it's the Bundesbank. And they do everything. They take every fucking corner and check if, for example, IS, Identification Management. Do you have any gaps there? Okay, so is someone, for example, providing any rights to very crucial banking systems without that the role management department or identification management department knows about that? If that's a finding because they see a gap, oh my god. The next call is the CEO of the bank telling you what a fucking asshole you are. Because it's going to be costly. You need to pay for it, for such a finding. And then you receive, for example, just a period of time to fix that. Because then this team is going to come back to the bank. And if they notice again that something is wrong here, they can even take your license, freeze your license and say, okay, stop here. You are not going to make any bank operations until you fix all these problems. It wouldn't be the first time that happens. So banks are doing absolutely everything to fix exactly all these 44 findings. Of course, it's not happening on Binance. And it didn't happen on FTX because it's unregulated. It's an unfucking regulated market. When people are saying, they use two regulated banks. Yeah, why do you think they know it? They know that Binance was using those two regulated banks in the US, that they shifted money, it seems even customer money, abroad via a team that's sitting in Shanghai, located in Shanghai, to send all this money to a company founded by the CEO of Binance. She said, guys, Hello? Hello? That's fucking scary. Not only that they are using a financial team on Shanghai, I promise I didn't even know that they have something in Shanghai. I thought, but everything now we can connect. You remember Justin Sun? That was in 2021 where he announced on Twitter, proud, we are going to work with, I don't remember, that was a Chinese academy where Justin Sun with the whole Tron team is going to work closely, and I don't know. It was something like where I was thinking, okay, that's crazy, because I mean, if China, it was the team before they banned, but it was, many people were talking and they announced a little bit that's going to happen and so, and I thought that's stupid. It doesn't make sense that Justin Sun is going to cooperate with authorities of the CCP when the CCP is just going to ban crypto. It doesn't make any sense why they should do that now. But just imagine, maybe that was the plan of China. Maybe it is a geopolitical thing. You remember what I said? That maybe even Russia and China could be much more bullish on crypto, because of course they can use crypto, like for example some anonymous coins, something that China is not bullish on, as we know, but it could happen, or Bitcoin, something that's completely decentralized, to transport, just to transfer money, information, assets, whatever, from A to B without, in case we have a bigger escalation in 2025, for example, like many experts are saying, on geopolitical level, related between China, Russia, and the West. So the whole thing could be much more explosive than we thought, because yes, from regulatory perspective, it looks really terrible. It looks like, guys, okay, you are scammers. And now I get why many companies don't want to make any kind of audits. The only one, as I know, at least today, was Paxos. One, at least, of the biggest one. Paxos, full audited in the US, working always with the regulators. That's why it was a shock for me when they announced that they are making and bringing some complaints against BUSD. Then they added another detail. It was not the native token by Paxos, provided by Paxos, but the BUSD token provided by Binance, who was, in period of times, not baked by nothing, just by nothing. Okay, we can do it. That's fine. It's like Paolo once said in the interview, well, why should we provide any audit? It's an unregulated market. So just saying like, mate, that's Wild Western. That's Wild West. Why should I follow any law when it's not required? Of course it's legal. Of course it's okay in an unregulated market. But to be honest, is that the start of a new future? Is that the beginning of something different, better than that what we had in the past? I don't know what is your response or answer to that, but my clear answer is definitely not. Definitely not. It's the same shit. It smells maybe a little bit different, it looks maybe a little bit different, but it's shit. It's the same shit we had before. And I thought crypto is going to be different. And that's the problem I have said just. Everything is fine, because it's only about business and money. But people outside are still defending these guys and saying, we are the good guys. CZ is crazy, but he's good and he's the spirit of crypto. But hey, Goldman Sachs, bah, See, Gary Gensler, oh my god, he applied to advise Binance. That's of course a conflict of interest. They are so corrupt. Yeah? How corrupt are you? How corrupt is all your idols in crypto? Like CZ, Sam, Duquan. The list is becoming longer and longer and longer. Are we really better? I mean, I'm really absolutely part of the crypto space. Otherwise, I wouldn't spend here right now just making this analysis and, first of all, providing this initial comment. I think to be critic, it's good because it just means you want to make something even better. To be honest, I'm really frustrated. I'm really fucking frustrated because I really thought in 2020 that crypto is going to be really something different. Solid people, those who have honest visions, who are playing fair. But what I'm seeing at the moment is it's the same. Why do you think we have a regulation in the banking sector? Exactly because of the same shit. Exactly of the same shit. Okay, I give you just another, and that's not even something where I would say, Jesus Maria, that's really criminal. It is not, but I will explain you just one example. In the beginning of 1900, where you know, when automotive started, 30 years later, you know Mercedes-Benz, you know BMW. So, as a company, at that time, when you wanted credit, just a loan from your bank, the only collateral you had to receive that money was shares. To give the bank company shares. And these companies want to grow because they noticed, hey, I'm Mercedes. Oh, Bavarian is founding BMW. Oh, they are making nice things. We need more capital. We need more liquidity. We need to invest in innovation. We need to make our cars better. So they went always to the banks and they gave them more shares of their company. At a certain point, those banks were officially the owners of these companies. You can imagine when you are going there and over and over and over again, requesting, demanding some loans and giving them your shares. Well, obviously, at certain point, I don't know the names because it was a different time, but let us say the Deutsche Bank owned 55% of BMW and 60% of Mercedes-Benz. What do you think those fucking idiots had in mind? I mean, the bankers, including me. What do you think? Well, they said, do we really need two different companies doing exactly the same? What do you think was the output? Their conclusion. Do you know what? We should just close one and bring some innovations and, you know, and that's it. Make of two companies, just kick off a lot of stuff and bring everything to one strong company. So today, BMW wouldn't exist. Today, only Mercedes-Benz will be a global player, and maybe Volkswagen with Porsche and so on and so forth. But to make the whole story short, regulation, in part regulation, laws, and so on and so forth, because at that time, of course, the Bavarian government said, oh, stop, you are not going to fuck close BMW. Because BMW is really important for our region. So politicians started to be very active, and they said, we are going to bring rules that banks can't just decide in that way. When someone is creating a rule, a government, your teacher, your mother, your wife, then because something happened, anything, an issue that shouldn't repeat again because it was a serious one, right? Well, just imagine that's part of the regulation. That's also part, that's the root, the thinking of regulation. And you guys, those who are defending CSAT, Binance, and so on and so forth, are at the same time defining an unregulated market. Binance is okay what they did. CSAT did everything fine. It's all fake news, it's all food, it's not. Of course, we have then, on the other part, smart guys out there, like sharks. You know, when a shark just smells a little bit of blood, you know what it does. Exactly, it follows and tracks the blood. Well, some bankers or some people are doing exactly the same, unfortunately. So, of course, the CEO of Soros, and Justin, if you're just watching my analysis, thank you very much for a lot of information you are providing. Soros Foundation CEO just said recently, crypto is the future. It's time that the traditional banking sector should take over crypto, because we know how regulation works. We know, well, I don't need to waste more time. You can imagine what, that's the other part. But to be honest, really, crypto did everything. Those players who had the opportunity to be solid, to be honest, to be fair, to create something like Satoshi Nakamoto, something for the people, not for their wallets and pockets. And yes, he said is one of them, like fucking Sam. I remember when I was saying Sam is a scammer, Sam is a market manipulator, and people just saying, yeah, always the same shit, Sam. Like those who are defending Tether and Paulo and Stuart Höckner. All these people who never spent 1 second to make a research. And of course we have those who are saying, yeah, that's, of course, US style. CBDC. Yes, of course, CBDC is going to come. Yeah, of course. But in my opinion, crypto is in any case a big threat to the CBDC. Not crypto in general, just certain tokens like Bitcoin, for example. Everything that's pure decentralized. That could be a problem for the CBDC. But crypto in general? No. Absolutely not. Not even the stablecoins. Because if you are forcing the stablecoins to bake their supply with CBDC US dollars, who cares? The central bankers wouldn't care about that. Only related to certain assets. Monero, Bitcoin, and others. Otherwise, in my opinion, no. So, in my opinion, those who are saying, yeah, that's part of a big complex and plan to destroy crypto because of the CBDC. Now, what's up when we are talking about that? And it seems that China has a bigger influence to all that. Even they banned crypto at home. The big question is, and they are talking about, they opened in Hong Kong, at least as I know. Please correct me. I didn't research that, but as I know, they just opened the market again in Hong Kong for crypto, for the whole crypto market. So, and for China, crypto is not a threat for the digital yuan, isn't it? So they don't have any problem, but the US have. And Europe is not scared about that crypto could be an alternative to their CBDC? Do you see that it doesn't make sense? It really just doesn't make sense. The US has mentioned so many times with different things. We will maintain, of course, that's something I have mentioned. We will have the currency, and we are in a currency war, gold-based currencies versus US dollar. I have mentioned it. You remember, initial comment, I don't know. It's really time ago. What I'm saying just is, for the US, they have other opportunities to maintain, at least in the Western territories, to maintain the US dollar as the currency. The global one? No, absolutely not. Forget it. China, Russia, they have too much raw materials, everything that we need for a full digitalization, and it's in my opinion that's a nonsense to think that US can win a currency war against China or in general the BRICS countries. In my opinion, that's not going to happen. But yeah, the US dollar will stay as a powerful currency in the West. In my opinion, in the West. For example, about Europe, I was talking about their CBDC. Did you notice any big news about the Euro CBDC? I don't. Since a long time. Sometimes they are talking a little bit, but nothing big. No pilot, nothing. At the moment, nothing. But they are regulating crypto. Because they know crypto is here to stay. But that wasn't the question. As I know, no one did this question. Banks, institutionals, they are absolutely greedy. Of course they want to have a piece of the pie. But doesn't mean they want to destroy it. Also the governments don't want to destroy it. They want to have their rules. Because as long you are trading in the US crypto using your US dollar, it doesn't matter if it's the cash, the fiat US dollar, or the CBDC one, every single time you will trade, you will be identified as a taxpayer. They don't care if you spend your money in Wall Street, SPY, SPX, or Apple, or whatever, or you're going to spend your money in Bitcoin. Because the only thing that counts for them is to receive the taxes. And it's happening, but they will control everything. We know that's the goal what our governments have in mind, to control everything, to track everything. Also, I'm very a critic related to central bankers and government. I did also that in my initial comments in the past. But, the world is not black and white. And that's something that many people are just ignoring. You should not ignore the fact that between white and black, by the way, both are not colors, we have a wide range with a lot of grays. 29 minutes, guys. Let us talk now about one thing that really matters, and that's market analysis. So let us go forward. So if we now check the weights ratio 30 days moving average, that's this curve here, or the weights ratio 1 day time frame. The 1 day time frame, you remember, break to the downside, and also indicating weight sending less bitcoins to centralized exchanges, explains why we had this pump push up. Afterwards it lifted up, the price of course reacting and declined once again. Now it's of course the daily one, so we are not saying the live data, so we don't know. We need to wait until tomorrow to see what is going to be the next step for the weights ratio 1 day time frame, but we have the 1 hour time frame. Let me just check here. That's once again as usual. So what we see is that the weights ratio 30 hours moving average is maintaining a relative high level between 86 and 88, almost 99%. That's really high. At the same moment, what we see here is we received stable coins to centralized exchanges and now it's declining. It's declining almost 200 millions. Usually that's indicating they are taking profit. The weights ratio 1 hour time frame is at 91%. At the moment, we are still holding above a trend line we have there, but we are retesting it. In case we break this one, we should see, in my opinion, 25k again. And usually when you see that someone is cashing out at that level, usually it also should confirm that that should be the next step to go down. However, let us go forward and check the remaining data. So once again, I need to do that here. Oh, that was Bitcoin, the Bitcoin net flow. I'm so sorry here. That was not stablecoin. I'm ready for vacation. So, but unfortunately not yet. I still need to wait a little bit. However, you can see that today we had bigger outflows in Bitcoins. If we take a look to the net flow, I have to say it looks absolutely bullish. It looks really bullish. By taking into account the remaining data, not really. But however, once again here, bigger outflows. But we received here 130 millions. Then we received here another 130 millions, while at the same time we had an outflow of almost 200 millions in stablecoins, and then here another 93 millions, indicating they are taking out some, they are cashing out, so someone is selling at that level, but on the other side, someone else is buying and absorbing, and that explains why the price is stabilizing once again, and we are maintaining 26.5. You remember what I said, 26, 27, at least that's what option traders were expecting as well. If we take a look here, we didn't receive any big inflows, but at the same time we can see we are noticing bigger outflows. So 1,000, that was in the last 2 hours, we had almost 1,800 bitcoins outflows related on the crypto quant data. If we check here all stable coins, exchange net flow, for example, we see that also today, if we take this as well, it looks more green than red. Also here indicating we can go more up. At least that's what we did here, and because afterwards, but the sell pressure started to rise and then we declined again. So we need to see. Anyway, let us go forward with the next chapter. So also here I just need to adjust my charts. Okay, and here as well. That's it. And that's it. Okay, so if we take a look here, we see that of course double bottom, the price went up, so the funding rate followed, and since then it's just declining. Now it seems it's lifting up once again. Open interest did something similar, it went down instead, pushed up, it's now declining, and leverage ratio also following here, we declined, lifted up, and now correlates perfectly with the open interest, also indicating at the moment we had bigger leverage, then we pushed up, they liquidated a lot, many just took profit, and now everything looks just better. So if we now take a look here, we can see that they are cashing out with stablecoins. So as you see, obviously the net flow is more red, indicating they are taking out more, so cashing out. And even related to Bitcoins to derivative exchanges, it's also indicating here now they are, sending more Bitcoins outside of derivative exchanges, also usually indicating that they are taking profit here. If we take a look to the aggregated, the funding rate now is pushing up. So that was at least, it's today. No, it's yesterday. It's almost delayed by 24 hours, like the wealth ratio 1 day time frame. So the funding rate yesterday lifted up hard. You see that the open interest and leverage ratio declined hard as well. Why? Well, they liquidated yesterday 1,150 Bitcoins in longs and 445 Bitcoins in shorts, indicating both sides were liquidated, but once again, they are liquidating more longs because the market is overlonged. And usually, a market that's overlonged, long squeeze, usually. We should go down hard for that, but it's not happening. It happened, you remember, that was in June 2022. But since then, it's not happening. Some people are saying, the same is going to happen again. I don't remember. That was in the beginning of June, so we should be very close to that then. But some people are just saying it will happen exactly the same. We will go down once again very hard. Okay. So if we go forward, we can see what is happening. You remember? Well, now almost 69 to 31 in favor of longs. Longs coming hard, shorts declined a lot. On Ethereum looks once again much better with 61 to 39. And Bitfinex shorts are not recovering, but also longs not recovering. Well, a little bit, I'm not sure, but I don't remember yet, but I think it's recovering a little bit. However, shorts are not doing it. So all leverage, let us check. Oh, that doesn't look great for shorts, in my opinion, if they really want to liquidate them. Still don't understand how Kingfisher works with their algorithm and so on and so forth. But, well, as some people are still demanding Kingfisher, here, please, here's Kingfisher. Well, that really doesn't look great. At least in the short term, we can go up, hitting 28, at least 27. So $500 up. Once again, liquidate all of them and then maybe go down. At the moment, it looks more, at least, and that's the most curious thing, because on Binance, Binance, the central exchange that is providing also derivatives, so futures, and who has the biggest open interest, is showing that the long-short ratio, based on their own data, is in favor of longs. In the Kingfisher, if you check the liquidation cluster, my interpretation here, it seems, is we have much more on the short side, but it doesn't make sense. I mean, Blockchain Whispers is only using this data here. It's the most trivial thing, and this data is provided by Binance. By Binance itself. The only thing what they are doing is open interest multiplied with the long-short ratio. That's the only thing. So Blockchain Whispers is not doing anything special, but the Kingfisher, it doesn't match, in my opinion. It absolutely does match here. Let us check the high leverage. Well, a lot of high leverage until 27, and now also big on the long side until 26.2. So we can go up $500, we can go down afterwards, we can go down here a little bit until 26,200 and then push up again. So we need to see. Let us go forward. So what is happening here? First of all, we remember how BUSD was front running. It front runned. It's still it's not really flipping. It's maintaining. It's just maintaining. just the tether pairs are right now just sending the price a little bit more up, while USD, we will see what Coinbase is doing. Jesus, looks really, really bearish. And Tether is using at the same time also Bitcoin collateral futures and stablecoin futures to lift up the price from almost, what was it, almost 26.1 to right now the current price, even a little bit higher. We did today 26.8. So that's almost it. That's how BUSD is looking like at the moment, while the aggregated, you can see right now it's just looking, hey, to lift up. So they were distributing even when the price was lifting up, because they used, as you can see, it's not the case with stablecoin margin contracts, with coin margin contracts, to lift up the price. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Bitfinex at the moment not really looking bullish at the moment, just a little bit up to support the move up, and it's maintaining, so not doing anything. That's Bybit. The trend is clear bearish, at least on spot CBD, and that's crazy. That's really crazy. I mean, wow. Since in the last 2 days Coinbase distributed, and that's only the CBD on spot, distributed almost 3,000 bitcoins. That's huge. I never have seen, well, I never have seen, since a while I didn't see such a move by Coinbase, just really distributing in that way. Bitstamp right now maintaining, it's just following the price. It's just really following the price. It's incredible. And Kraken also here, almost they don't even really distribute it. It's more up. And Gemini now also pushing up. And once again, I don't know what happened to Gemini, but since now, last week, Gemini has received more volume. So it seems they are receiving more liquidity. Maybe because something is changing. And we can see that here. 1 month, I mean, that's the aggregated 1 month inflows, minus $2 billion US dollars from Binance in the last 7 days, 1.7 billion in the last 24 hours, almost 800 millions. In my opinion, looks a little bit like a bank run, to be honest, and not big enough, in my opinion. The only thing that kicks my ass and balls and head and everything is that Bitfinex received last month 1 billion. But also interesting that Deribit received 700 millions. And maybe one of you can tell me what the hell is MaskX? What the fuck is MaskX? I never heard about that. How is that possible that they are receiving 270 millions just in what is that? That's a centralized exchange? Never heard about that. It's the world's most secure and private secure cryptocurrency wallet and trading platform. Okay. Never heard about. If you have some information, I mean, I will check, of course, but if you are, their client, tell me or tell us a little bit about what experience you are doing there. And yeah, then we can check what is happening here. 1,200 bitcoins once again from the market maker. Another 300 bitcoins here, 350. So they are still continuing to distribute at that level. Miners once again reducing their reserves. Today, I don't know, an outflow of 7,500 bitcoins. That's crazy. But I know that CryptoQuant did something, so they are tagging or they are just tracking now, it seems, more miner wallets. If we check the weights ratio is indicating here that Bitstamp and Bitfinex weights are sending less bitcoins. Only Gemini is right now at 97%. So it seems on Gemini the weights are sending those bitcoins. Coinbase lifting up, not enough, and everything. It looks at the moment. Looks we can make another leg up. And that's how it looks, at least related also here to the weights ratio and the net flow I have mentioned just before. If we take a look here, absolutely not bullish at all. The fund holdings, Bitcoin fund holdings are declining more and more, and that's usually an indicator that institutional demand is declining more and more and more. If we take a look, that I need to refresh, it looks like that not big, but future volume is lifting up while spot volume declining compared to the futures volume. And here, nothing new. Already we receive, based on CryptoQuant, we receive that's not big. What would be 8,000 bitcoins? 8,000 bitcoins since June 5th. That's absolutely not big. Just derivative exchanges their reserves are declining in Bitcoin. That's the only thing that looks really strange, to be honest, but that's it. So let us talk about walls. Coinbase here waiting at 27.2. It seems could be also well, 2 in a row. Yeah, could be also spoofing. At the same time, they are still waiting here at 25.8, for example, and everything else like very unchanged, right? So they protected lower areas, but that's it. Nothing big happened since yesterday. Really not. So Bitstamp removed some liquidity at 25.5 and even 25.2. Bringing some liquidity in lower areas, for example 24.5, as we can see here, but also relatively unchanged since yesterday. BTC USDT, well, what happened here? We didn't even trigger this wall here, but they removed a lot of sell orders there. So if we had just before 226 bitcoins there waiting, now it's just a half, 128. Another 100 bitcoins waiting at 27, bringing more liquidity to the upside, hitting 27.5. Could be looking bearish, but it could be also possible, as you can see, that the range to the upside and to the downside is declining. So it will be much more a game of liquidity if they can push up and absorb as much as they can. But also here relatively unchanged what's happening now, even bringing some liquidity at 23.8 and a lot of 23. Also here, for example, in lower areas 22, even here now at 19, but well, we don't know why. A lot of spoofing could happen here as well, so we need to be careful. Now BTC BUSD on Binance, still waiting there at 25, but that's almost it. Also unchanged. Bitfinex, BTC USD, they are still waiting here at 27.2 and also here at 24.6. The only thing I see here is really the 27.3, otherwise unchanged. OKEX spot, usually nothing. Yeah. Then Kraken, oh, interesting. What is Kraken doing here? So Kraken also just want to limit it the way up to 27.6, bringing more liquidity up to 28.6, 28, and the max would be 29.5, but at the same time doing it, for example, at 25.5, a little bit at 26, and reinforcing everything between 24 and 24,600. Also very interesting what they are doing here. So BitMax On BitMEX, still waiting here at 27.5. So it wouldn't surprise me if we push up to 27.5. You remember the double top scenario. So it really would surprise me at all. Now we are on Bitget derivatives. They are just here. They removed here. It seems could be also spoofing a short order. Now here also nothing with Tether. Now BTC USDT on Binance. On Binance waiting here at 26 to long, and at the moment at 27 to short. So also here we can see that everything looks really small. So 27 max, 26 the lowers at the moment. That's so maybe many option traders with 27 are not wrong at all. So BTC BUSD now, oh, they want here to short, it seems, at upper area until 28. Also very interesting. So to push up, for example, and then go down would also work. On Bitfinex derivatives, they 25k. They shifted lower, so too long. They want to go to 25k. And just before, you remember, they did 26. We did the double top bottom. Then we went up. Then they started here. You can see that. I can reduce, and you can see they started to short. And now at the moment they are just waiting at 27k. So it's possible to go to 27k, but I guess 25k is a solid area because we didn't touch them yet. Just to, at least if we take into account what Bitfinex is doing here, to go down, go up once again, and then more down maybe. That's something we need to see. Kraken futures not indicating anything. And now what is that? OKEX also nothing. They also here, for example, they triggered 25.5 their longs, and they pushed up, and now nothing big happening. And Deribit, oh, interesting what Deribit is doing. Deribit now here forming liquidity concentration at 25.5 and shifting, it seems, liquidity also more to the downside to 22. Nothing to the upside. They removed a lot, as you remember here, and that's almost it.